6 months into my relationship with Liam, let's call him that for now, everything seemed perfect. We were two gay men, him at 43, me at 26, deeply connected despite our age gap. He was charming, mature, and exposed me to a life I'd never imagined. I had never left the country before, but he took me to Bali for my first international trip. It was magical. From the pristine beaches to the luxurious resorts, the trip was the kind of experience that made you feel lucky, like you had hit the jackpot in life. And in those moments, I thought I had. But, of course, life isn't always as perfect as it looks on Instagram, is it? It all started the night after we came back from Bali. The intoxicating warmth of the vacation had faded, replaced by the familiar routine of daily life. That night, Liam was asleep, and I did something I'm not proud of. I checked his phone. I know. The trust line had been crossed the moment I picked it up, but something inside me whispered that I needed to look, like an itch I couldn't ignore. And there it was. Months of messages with a guy I'd never heard of. The texts weren't constant, but they were there, stretching back across the months. As I scrolled through, my heart sank. The texts weren't about some casual friendship. The guy had said he wished he'd kissed Liam when they'd met at a gay bar. I could feel my chest tighten, like someone had just reached inside and crushed my heart. It wasn't just about the messages. It was about trust. This guy was hitting on my partner, and Liam didn't shut it down. The day after that conversation, we were at his dad's birthday party, celebrating like nothing was wrong. I was there, by his side, oblivious, while he had been texting another man. I felt like a fool. Instead of confronting him in person, because, honestly, I've got some serious trauma around confrontations, I called him. I tried to keep my voice steady, but my emotions were all over the place. As soon as I brought up the messages, his first reaction wasn't to apologize or explain. It was to accuse me of invading his privacy. "You were checking my phone?" he asked, and I could hear the shock and anger in his voice. I felt like I had been sucker punched. He was right. I had crossed a line. But at that moment, I didn't care. It wasn't about how I found out. It was about what I found out. I told him how much it hurt, hearing someone else say they wished they'd kissed him, and knowing he had responded with nothing more than a shrug emoji. "What does that even mean?" I demanded. "Were you keeping the door open for something to happen?" He assured me that it was just harmless banter, and that he loved me. He even promised that it wouldn't happen again. So, I let it go. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe that it was just a momentary lapse in judgment and that we could move forward. I convinced myself that things would get better. But that trust? It had been cracked, and the crack was growing. A month or two later, we were hanging out at his place. He went to take a shower, and once again, curiosity, or maybe insecurity, got the best of me. I checked his phone. My hands trembled as I unlocked it, half hoping that I wouldn't find anything. But deep down, I knew I would. I scrolled through his messages, and my heart dropped. He had been texting someone about setting up a time to hook up. His exact words were, "We should set it up. I can't do it if it's unannounced." I felt physically sick. There I was, in his apartment, in what was supposed to be our safe space, reading about how he was planning to have sex with someone else. My mind raced. Why was he doing this? Was I not enough? Did he even care about me? Or was I just some placeholder until someone better came along? I sat there in a daze, trying to process everything. Should I confront him? Should I just leave? But I didn't. I stayed. I didn't say anything that night. I couldn't. The thought of confronting him terrified me. What if he got angry? What if he denied it all and turned it around on me again? I wasn't ready for that, and I wasn't ready to lose him. Even though he had hurt me, even though he had betrayed my trust again, I still loved him. But that love was changing. It wasn't the same fiery passion I had felt in the beginning. It was colder now, more distant. I still cared, but I was becoming numb to the pain. Over the next few weeks, I pulled back emotionally. I spent more time at my place, distancing myself from him. When we were together, I was physically there, but emotionally checked out. It was like I had built a wall around my heart to protect myself from getting hurt any more than I already had been. I still hadn't confronted him about what I'd found. I didn't know how. Every time I thought about bringing it up, anxiety would grip me and I'd feel paralyzed. So I stayed silent. Part of me feels like I'm waiting for the inevitable, like I'm just biding my time until this whole relationship implodes. I know I should leave. I know I deserve better. But for some reason, I can't bring myself to do it. Maybe it's because I still love him, despite everything. Maybe it's because I don't want to be alone. Or maybe it's because I'm scared of what comes next. I know this isn't sustainable. I can't keep living like this, pretending everything is fine when I'm dying inside. But every time I think about ending things, I feel like a piece of me is being ripped away. The truth is, I don't know if I'm strong enough to walk away from him. So now I'm stuck in this limbo. I don't know what to do. Do I confront him and risk the fallout? Do I stay quiet and try to make peace with the fact that he's cheating? Or do I finally muster up the courage to leave and start over? I wish I had the answers, but right now, all I have is a broken heart and a whole lot of confusion. That's it for now. You enjoyed listening to this story? Then please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to channel for more interesting cheating stories. Signing off.